ShartimusPrime. Reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it, taking bad hits, taking back hits. Subscribe for more things.
I can't believe they made an action figure with squishy chest. Hey, what's up you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another GamerVerse figure review 2-pack set on the Marvel 3¾ inch or Marvel Universe PS4 Spider-Man and Mr. Negative. If you're trying to pick up any of these 3¾ inch 2-packs, you can get them at
Big. Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below.
I actually did pick these up at my local GameStop. I thought I had pre-ordered the 6-inch scale PS4 Spider-Man figure at GameStop, and I did not, to my mistake. Yeah, so I picked this up over here instead. They didn't have any in stock. Anyway, on the side you can see Spidey right over there, and then on the back you can see a nice image of Spidey from the game. There's a read-up over here. If you want to read it, go ahead and pause it right now. And then we get Spidey again over there, and then we get some webbing and stuff going on in the packaging, which looks pretty cool. I like that. And then you can just see the price right over there, which I actually paid a little bit less than that. But anyway, let's get to it and crack this thing open. And here's the PS4 Spider-Man and Mr. Negative figures out of the packaging. And I think it's great that Hasbro went ahead and made this 2-pack set. I think they're both good looking figures right here, and I think they go well together. I really did enjoy fighting Mr. Negative in the PS4 game. Follow me on Twitch if you have not already. I should be back on the Twitch sooner than later. I had a day where I didn't take my Dramamine and I got really sick, and yeah, it was pretty bad. But yeah, I'm going to be back on it as soon as I can. But anyway, back to these figures right here. I think they look pretty dope. I first want to get a closer look at that Mr. Negative, and then we'll get a closer look at Spidey. And here's a look at the face sculpt of Mr. Negative, and I think this looks awesome. I really love the choice of this metallic blue paint right here. I really dig that quite a bit. I wish he did have some accessories though, you know, I don't know, some of his, you know, negative blast effects or something like that would have been cool to have. I do like how the eyebrows are painted white and the eyes are looking really good with that white paint. The hair looks really good too. So I'm digging that, and we've seen this body mold before several times, I think. I have a Professor X figure that uses this body mold, but so yeah, the head kind of sticks out a little bit weird right there, and you can see that he had a peg hole at the back, and you can see that we have the vest and tie and everything. Looking pretty sweet. There's a little hanky right there, so that's pretty cool. Then looking at the hands, I dig that. Gotta love that metallic blue paint. He has these open hands so that he could hold a gun right there, but he doesn't come with a gun, and you can see that blue paint looks awesome. Then the rest of the figure is just very white. It gets kind of weird around the crotch area. You can see some coloring coming through there. One thing I noticed is that they did take away that weird screw in the hip. You know, the Professor X figure has this weird screw in the hip, so this one doesn't have that. That's appreciated. And he has these nice fancy white shoes right over there and peg holes at the bottom of his feet. Then there's your Negative butt right there and your Negative back hole. And we only get one accessory with this 2-pack set, and that is the webbing for Spidey, which doesn't look too bad. We've seen this before, and you can see right here we get some nice pearlescent sheen with this white plastic, you know, so I dig it. If I darken things up, you can see that shimmer in the plastic a little better, and you get a clip right over here at the end, so you can go ahead and port this only onto the right side of Spidey, because that's the only side that has a web shooting hand. Now the articulation for Mr. Negative is really not the greatest. You can't get his head looking up too much, but it will look up a little bit, but it actually still looks like it's just straight on, so that's a little fresh. You know, if you kind of half it on that joint, there he goes. And you can make him look down some. You get side-to-side movement right there, and a little bit of head pivoting. Shoulders can move outward that far, and you can move them down. You could rotate 360. I feel like they could move up even more. So yeah, there you go. You can move them all the way up like that. And then you get a single jointed elbow, and it rotates at the elbow, and then both wrists just swivel side to side. He has waist or diaphragm rotation right there, and he'll crunch forward a little bit and back some, and it's not much diaphragm pivot at all. Hips move outward pretty far. Oh, and there goes a leg, so I just took it off the ball peg right there, so I don't know, about that far without popping off on you. And he'll kick forward that much and not back at all. You get a single jointed knee that doesn't quite meet 90 degrees. You get rotation at the knee. Then the ankles do move down a little bit, and they don't move up. You can turn them side to side, and there is no ankle pivot. So I hate to complain about this figure because I actually like it, but when I first got this, it had a little bit more white paint speckled throughout the lower portion of the mask right there, so I just picked that off with my fingernail. I'm sure if I get an X-Acto knife in here, I could scrape scrape off some of that extra white dot right there and that little dot right there. I tried to get off, and yeah, it's still on there. So yeah, I'll have to try to go at it some more. Then the eye paint isn't really perfectly clean. You can see that, you know, that we have this whole ridge right over here for the eyepiece, and it's not painted black, where on that side it is. So the right eye looks better than the left. So the paint apps are just a bit sloppy on the head sculpt. Even coming around the back, you can see, you know, the lines don't really match up perfectly or anything. So I don't know, it's not that awful, or it still looks pretty good. And keep in mind, it's a pretty small figure, so any of those blemishes don't stand out as much. But what does stand out to me is that they used a blue neck hinge instead of a red neck hinge. That bothers me, so that does stand out to me. That's probably a little bit more irksome to me than the white paint apps. But looking at the rest of the figure, and I gotta say, I do like this design. I think it is pretty good for a video game version, but there's so many cool suits in the game that I actually rarely use this one. I've been liking, I don't know, a lot of them, man. I use the big time suit probably more than anything. But yeah, this is pretty awesome. I do like that we have this. So pretty cool design. The lines don't stop perfectly with the red, but that's okay. It doesn't really bother me too much. Like how the side of it looks right there. You have the white gloves and everything. And then here's looking at that logo again on the back, which I think is really cool. It helps the character stand out a little bit more in the game. I wish they, added a little bit more white paint right here, so if he's crunching forward, you still see the pattern. But I really love this body mold. This is my favorite body mold for Spider-Man, so I think it's great that they keep using this one for Spidey. That looks awesome right here. Legs look pretty good. Can't really complain about that, except for the warpage. So yeah, that should get cleaned up. I don't know. Yeah, I'll probably heat that up and fix that knee joint up in just a moment. You can see we get red paint at the bottom of his feet right here and on the sides, and he still has the peg holes. And then it's mostly blue right there on the back. And for the Spidey articulation, you can move his head all the way up, which is great. I just don't like that color. For the neck hinge, you can move it all the way down, and you get side-to-side motion right here. Shoulders can move up, and they can move downward. You get 360 motion right over there as well. You get a bicep swivel, single jointed elbow that bends in more than 90 degrees, and then both sides turn side to side and no hinging. You get a diaphragm joint that turns side to side, a little bit of diaphragm pivot, or not much diaphragm pivot really, but it does shift. It'll move forward that much, back a little bit. You get a waist swivel right there, and the hips move outward just that far, and he will kick forward that much and back some. Upper thigh cut. I really like the cobweb pattern right over there on the side. That's pretty sweet. And then you get double jointed knees, calf rotation, and then the ankles move down. They do move up, and he does have an ankle pivot. Now I straightened out that left leg on Spidey, and it seems like it is longer than the right, so that's a bit frustrating. I don't know how that happened, but anyway, measuring out these two figures, you can see that Mr. Negative is standing just a little over 4 inches tall, but the Spidey figure is standing a bit taller, closer to 4.5 inches. Then here's the PS4 Spider-Man and Mr. Negative next to a couple other figures sharing the same body molds. You can see Professor X and Mr. Negative right over there, and then we have this Spider-Man figure that came from a 2-pack, I think. I can't remember exactly which 2-pack this came from, but that is my favorite 3 3/4 inch Spider-Man figure in my collection. And yeah, you can see that these two have the same body molds right over here too, but they don't stand at the same exact height. There's something weird going on with that leg, and I really wish I was able to find my previous GamerVerse 2-pack set of Iron Man and Mega Man X. I couldn't find those, so yeah, I'm just going to compare these two to the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. Hey, little brother. Hey, brother. Hey, Mr. Negative. I have a feeling that if I touch you, I'm not going to be a big time letdown anymore. Let's see what happens. You sure you're cool with this? All right. Whoa, okay. I thought I would be a big time no letdown, but hey, I'll take it. No way I can get crushed by Devastator or punched by the Hulk or kicked in the balls by any female characters at all. I'm going to be perfectly fine just like this with my brand new... Nope. Sweet. I gotta thank you guys again for watching my video. I really do appreciate it, especially when you watch these videos from the beginning to the end, or at least stick around for the stop motion segments. And I also appreciate it if you hit that like button if you like the video. Please leave a comment down below, and please hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell if you have not already. Now, I really wanted to pick up the 6-inch version of the PS4 Spider-Man figure. I thought I had pre-ordered it. X-Man87 tried to help me out, and just, with the stress and all the craziness of parenthood, I just missed out on pre-ordering it. So I'm gonna find one at my local GameStop. I'm going to call in on Monday. So yeah, expect a review of the 6-inch scale Marvel Legend PS4 Spider-Man soon. But as far as these two figures right here, I like them both. I actually think they came out pretty good. I have my expectations for the 3 3/4 inch line, and I feel like they met them. I have my gripes about the paint apps on the Spider-Man figure, but the Mr. Negative is fine as well. So I'm giving them both a sud rating of...
It's not so bad.
And I'd like to know what you guys think, so please let me know in the comments section below. If you want to stay up to date on all the Marvel news, photos, and forums, you can find it all over at marvelousnews.com. And if you want to stay in touch with me on the social media, again, you can find me on Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter. Links to everything in the description below. I'll catch you guys later. Peace!
I'm gonna play with my toys today. Well, I don't care what my people say. I'm gonna play with my toys today. Can't have one, I gotta get them all. Time to make a trip to the local mall. Oh yeah!
That's crispy.
Hey, I'm ShartimusPrime videos. Hey, you should click one. Yeah, click on one of them. Or subscribe if you haven't.
We're shot in your face. I said we're shot in your face. I said we're shot in your face.